Hey everybody, it's the Divine Brothers meeting yet again. A stormy day in Beijing, and I guess a formerly stormy day in Colombia. Yeah, Chase, your Wi-Fi is functioning, man. I hope so.
See, see, for now. Para ahora, for now.
That was some Spanish. Okay, well done, brother. Yeah, I can see those Spanish classes
What?
are working well, man.
I thought that was a great topic right before we started this. And so I had a client this morning. I had to charge him half price because it just fucking kept cutting out on me. It was fucking awful. Like it straightened out the last half and we had a decent session, but you feel terrible. And I was like, Dean was like, country to country, you have a relationship with the Wi-Fi there. Fucking Asia. China, I imagine it's immaculate. I hear Korea is fucking incredible. Like just living somewhere with good Wi-Fi is it's a must. It's a must. Fucking pisses me off. Here in Colombia, it's you get a storm, it's gone. It's like, oh, it's the middle of a Saturday at 3 afternoon and then it's out for 30 minutes for no reason. It's fucking horrible, man.
It's shocking. Like I remember China's excellent, but of course you have to deal with the Great Firewall, which is a pain
Uh,
in the ass.
yeah.
I can remember going to Australia. Like I when I got there, I was just like, damn, this is slow. Like everything, it would like
Really?
anything on my phone took forever. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, like what is wrong? Like, did I get a bad SIM card or something? And my buddy there was like, no, Australia has like some of the worst internet in the world. It's just slow and laggy. Like people can't play games properly down there and shit like that. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know this, man.
Well, is it because
And
it's below the equator? What I mean, is there something to
no,
this? What the
I think
fuck?
it's just like I think it's like the other thing is price. Like, I don't know what they charge there in the States, Austin, but like high speed, like I've got unlimited data, high speed, 5G, whatever, it's like $10 a month,
Man,
you know,
that
10
shit,
bucks.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, well, because they don't fucking gouge you out here, like it is so crazy what they charge in other countries. So
90
yeah,
bucks in
it's
the
all around.
States. 90 bucks,
A
man.
racket, man.
Yeah.
All a racket. Yeah. But yeah, maybe you'll have to get out of Colombia, dude, because that's gonna fuck up your business if it stays consistent, you
Well,
know?
look, I was in Cambodia. I love Cambodia, but it's like a country just getting its shit together. And they were laying the fiber optics in the ground. And yeah, I was having a great time. And then it was out for 6 days.
Yeah, I remember
The whole city. And I saw like one or two buildings apparently had it. They were bribing the right people. That's what you do in a third. You bribe. And they skipped by our hostel, and the guy that ran, I was like, dude, why didn't we get it? He goes, oh, I guess I didn't offer enough. I was like, well, you should fucking offer more, man. Like, it's just like, this is important. Like, people have to work. Like, he was making a joke of it. Of like, you need to go offer and bribe them more to get the fucking Wi-Fi. And I was pissed off.
dude, you're too old to be staying in a hostel, bro.
Hotel. I'm
That's
sorry. It felt like a hospital, but it was a hotel.
okay.
A hotel.
I was like, that's the problem right there. You should be staying at the White Lotus. You
Dude,
ain't got
I
time for that.
loved my spot. It was fantastic. It was fucking
Mm.
great place. Great little
Yeah.
hotel. Yeah.
I didn't know that Thailand didn't have internet problems, did it? I never had problems when I was in Thailand, right?
You get outside the city, you get problems.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ian and I were thinking about heading up Thailand, maybe, you know, just because it's so close to his hometown. Maybe do a quick
Oh,
little
the north.
run down there. Yeah, maybe. We were
They
talking
got
about
weed.
it.
They got weed, man.
That sounds nice. I'd like a little weed. It's been so long, you know? Like, Austin was telling me the other day that he took an edible, and I was reading about it, and I was like, damn, I kind of want to try that. That sounds nice, man, you know? So I feel the envy.
Weed should be available in a country, I'm convinced. Lived in both. And when you don't have weed, it doesn't kill you. You're fine. You just feel yourself getting a little more rigid. Like it's like the ultimate substance to just chill you out. You can have a fucking decent night looking at fucking fireflies. You can have a great night. You can have a great night watching TV, man. It's so essential. And I'm so glad I have. That's why I smoke on all these fucking podcasts because I like it and it makes me feel good.
Oh man, no one's.
Dean's like, he's so depressed. He's just staring at me like, shut the fuck up. I know what you mean.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dean. That was interesting because I had a pretty rough few days. I wasn't sleeping well, and I pretty much had given up on the idea of meditating that day. So I took an edible, and it like kind of like re-enlivened me. I was like, okay, like I'll give it a shot. And the meditation session went super well. And I was doing all these things I don't normally do. I felt this freedom and this sense of exploration that's not always there. And I was just like putting my focus in different areas of the body, moving energy around. And I was having like really interesting experiences. It's not something that I would necessarily do all the time because I don't believe that you should be dependent on any substance in any case, and especially not for meditation. Like I wouldn't want to do it every time, but I think it's a very interesting thing to add to it and just like see how it affects your mind. And when you do it with meditation, you get like a really clear picture of exactly what the cannabis is doing with your mind. Like I was able to observe it like a meditative object. It was super interesting, and Bobby would know more about this than me. But there are groups of people that smoke hashish as part of their like ritual practices using meditation. Like it is a thing in certain areas. Just like if you go to Japan or China, they use like green tea. It's something similar to that. But they believe that cannabis is like incarnation or associated with Shiva, and that it enhances their meditation. Which, if you have a really strong mind, like you can get past the kind of fuzziness that comes with cannabis, and it's like it actually increases the enjoyment of it, makes it adds a new depth to it. I think it's very interesting. And when you get into a situation where you're able to do that and you're getting better at meditation by the day, I would definitely recommend at least trying it. I think it's a super unique experience.
Hey, where were you feeling
Yeah,
it in your body,
used to
man?
it.
Anywhere particular? Was it hitting you somewhere?
Yeah, so I tend to feel cannabis in my head, like you
Okay,
get that headband effect,
sure.
and I was like able to observe like a fogginess, like kind of permeating the totality of my experience that included my body, but it included the environment. And I think that's something I enjoy about cannabis. It's like putting like a warm blanket over like the totality of everything, and it like slows everything down. I know everyone has different experiences, but that's like typically what cannabis does for me. If I do too much, it gives me anxiety, and it kind of like reverses that effect. But generally, it just relaxes me. It doesn't make me really think that differently. Maybe slightly more creative, a little bit less inhibited. But yeah,
Why
so
do
I don't
you
find it intoxicating.
I find word choice interesting, and there's gods that have many names. Why do you call it cannabis?
I think that's like if it sounds more medicinal when I
Medicinal. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like when weed was being legalized, that's what everyone called it. People didn't call it weed or like I don't know some other word. They use the term cannabis and like it stuck. And I think it's I don't know. I think it's a good word for it. What do you guys
Okay.
call it?
Chronic.
Chronic. You've never used before. Jesus.
That's what my buddy in college, Greg, used to say. It's how he would put it. I was like, yeah, sure. I smoke some chronic. People would wonder what it was. It's just weed. Yeah.
Mm.
I think
Okay.
you got to be really careful with language because it definitely the word chronic evokes a definite image in your mind that's probably different from cannabis. When I think of chronic, I think of a guy like smoking a blunt, watching TV, like stoned out of his mind. I think of a drug user, not someone that's medicating or experimenting with spirituality.
Hey, wait, Austin, have you ever been in like a portion of your life like an official pothead? Like it was a daily routine?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Me, yeah, I had a period. Dean definitely had a period too, man. Yeah, it was. Okay, we've all been there.
Grad school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean, you're super low energy today. What's up, man? I thought you had something you wanted to talk about.
Low energy? What's making you think I'm low energy?
You just staring at us. You're not giving us anything. You
Oh, I'm
look out of it.
sorry that my stare is disturbing Chase. I
Maybe the
apologize.
weed made you depressed. That's what I thought it was.
No, I'm not depressed at all. Yeah. I can share. I had a dream earlier in the week. So me
Hmm.
and Austin have like a little shared Google document where we just share like our little meditation experiences,
That's
and sometimes
cute.
dreams are shared, And I really do think Austin was on the money. He talked about this the other week. And I was like, he's like, I have more dreams lately. And I was like, I haven't really experienced that. But then, like, after he said that, suddenly my dreams just became a lot more potent and vivid. And I actually had one tonight that was very potent. But yeah, the one that happened earlier in the week, um, I was back in Lubbock, Chase, over at the 19th Street house,
The cool
Daddy
one
Dean's
with the
old
big yard.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, this was a really cool house. Like, it was super interesting. It was a proper like
If you had that
mansion sort
house
of.
now, I mean,
Yeah.
what would you do with that garden room? I would.
Oh, the garden. It had a giant greenhouse garden room that was super cool. Had a kick-ass pool,
It's half the
a
house. It's half.
gigantic backyard.
Yeah.
Like the backyard was acres and acres. And if you went, I don't know if you remember this, Chase, but if you went to the very, very back, there was actually a whole nother little shed area house back there,
It's
you know?
apartment, shed. Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
Anyways, it was me and Wu Yin. We were out there and Bouncer was with us. We were
Oh,
we were walking Bouncer
black
and we
lab.
took her
Yeah.
we took her to the back of the yard and I was like, there's a field back here where we can play with her. And we kept following the fence right. Like we just kept going, turning right, turning right, turning right. And the fences just kept going and going. And eventually it just kind of was like a spiral, it just kept turning and turning. And it was fucking West Texas dry. Like the grass was totally devoid of water. It was like crunching underneath our feet. You know, I don't remember the heat, but I do remember how dry it was, like totally, totally bone dry. And we kept turning and turning and turning in this spiral pattern. And then out of nowhere, there was this grove of trees that appeared. And at the front of them was this gigantic pink cherry tree. I mean, it looked beautiful, like something out of a Japanese garden, and little petals floating down to the ground and stuff like that. And there was a whole bunch of Mexicans working on a road through the middle of it. And so suddenly I look at Bouncer, and it's no longer Bouncer, it's Max, Mom's German Shepherd. And Max runs right up to the laborers, right? And me and William go running after him. And the laborers start speaking Spanish, and William starts speaking Spanish with the laborers. And I'm like, what? William doesn't speak Spanish, but he says, oh, we can't go in here. And I was like, why not? I'm like, oh, I didn't say. And then an American hole in the wall barbecue joint appeared on the side of the road. And me and William went in there. And it looked really nice and delicious and stuff like that. And William ordered something. He's like, what do you want? And I said, I can't eat. And then I woke up like that. Yeah. Chase, I psychoanalyzed the hell out of that dream with Wu Yin. it got crazy deep with the psychoanalysis in that dream. We were using that ego and archetype book and everything. It was fun, man. I really enjoyed it.
So
And
what was the conclusion?
so the conclusion that we came to is it basically had to do with the Jesus chapter that you missed out on this last week, but um, there's this idea that you know you may not necessarily be ready for the road ahead of you. It's being built and you may be in this dry place, but you have to accept that you're in this dry place. Yeah. And then you have to accept that there's limitations and weaknesses within you. Like, for example, the desire to eat something delicious, the desire to escape a dry place, the desire to go and play and be in the shade. But if you're not ready to go there, that's okay. You have to learn to embrace the weaknesses, to play in the shadow a little bit until the road has been built, until it's ready to go.
By the
Then you can go.
Mexicans. Yeah.
You know. Well, even so, I mean, like I see Mexicans. I grew up with Mexicans, of course, like that. But I think what that also meant is that, that represented the labor. It's a laborious process that requires time and effort and coordination, and that I think that represents that. Uh, there's effort that has to be given, you know? And so it really meant a lot to me, that dream. I wrote it down and really got deep into it. And I really attribute it to the meditation, man. I really do think it's opening up the unconscious side of me. And a lot of shit I wasn't, that was there, but I wasn't really accessing is starting to open up. And I think it's making me better. I do think that.
Okay, so you got a destination, and even if you can't get there, you still got to enjoy the ride. And I want to say that every single turn of that, the house, good connotations with the health. Both dogs were great dogs. Barbecue is fucking fantastic. All those little side journeys and people coming with you, those are good ones. They're not people you dislike or animals that you didn't. Those are all pleasant companions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hear the
Yeah.
other dream I had today? Huh?
Well, I want to
Okay,
hear
do it.
Austin's interpretation first of that
Okay,
one.
go ahead. Yeah.
No, I think dreams are his interpretation is really solid. I just want to like say that I really think there is something to the meditation, uh, bringing a lot more like lucidity to the dreams. I've noticed that the most intense dreams I've ever had were when I was on the very edge of lucidity. It seemed to bring out like a lot of really symbolic imagery and like just a greater like psychic potency. Like I don't know what it is, but just interjecting that a bit of awareness. And I think that's what meditation does largely. You're not only increasing your awareness during the meditation session, you're increasing your capacity for awareness. And the Tibetans especially talk about how if you continue meditation, you start to become aware in your dreams, and eventually, if you get really good, you're aware in your deep sleep as well. So I would definitely think that just the meditation is increasing the dream intensity because the extra awareness that is being brought in. But I also think we're reading a book that's basically almost all about like communicating with the subconscious and or the unconscious and giving it credence and being in a state of receptivity to its information. And I think that in itself is like very potent. I generally wonder because when I do read texts like this, and I told Dean about it, like it's like the subconscious really does want to communicate, but it's like it won't do it unless you're in a position in which you're ready to hear it. I think that's like that could be largely the case.
I don't even know if it's
And
ready to, I was going to say, even with that LeBerg book that you gave me on the lucid dreaming, the first thing he
Hmm.
teaches you is like, just keep a dream journal and immediately write it down. And I started dreaming almost immediately, which I had always dreamed. I just gave it absolutely no attention. So, I mean, this much effort, and you start remembering your dreams. A little more effort, then you start putting it, okay, I wonder what it means. So it's very minimal that you have to, it's just a shift of awareness toward it. And then depending on how far you want to take it. Yeah.
I think again to bring up that book, this last week we talked about a section where it's not just about like uh getting into meditation and stuff. I think when you make yourself more aware of wisdom, like you start to like read interesting books or listen to wise people, you start to quote the Bible, not lean on your own understanding, you know? And I can't tell you like how great it's been to like in this book he talks about the temptations of the Christ and how he uses scripture to counter Satan, as in like he's not leaning on his internal desires. He's able to step away from himself and rely on the wisdom of others. And I think that by studying stuff and like kind of immersing yourself in a world of wise people, your brain is able to survive a little better. You're able to endure the temptations a little bit more because you're not just leaning on yourself. And yeah, that's been invaluable, man. I feel Edinger, but also like other things I've been reading, starting to like intercept thoughts, you know, and yeah, it's helpful, really helpful.
Well, that is just fantastic. It's great.
Jace is, oh man, he's just dripping with it, you know. Oh God. All right, Chase, why don't you share your wisdom? What do you got for us, huh?
I don't know, man. What's been going on this week, dude? Anything? Everything?
I can share my other dream I had if you're interested. Yeah.
Okay, okay, sure.
All right. Last night I was taking an exam in a cafe in Thailand. It was like a fucking huge SAT sort of exam. And there were two sections. One was on art and the other was on history. I don't know why the fuck I was taking an art exam, but my high school art teacher, Miss Clinton, showed up out of nowhere. And she said, listen to me. You've got to pay attention to the wrinkles in the neck and the crease in the armpit. She was like, you got to pay attention to those shadows. That's going to make the whole exam. And I was like, okay, Miss Clinton, you got it. And then I started writing the other exam and I couldn't remember how to spell a word. So I look it up on Google and guess who shows up behind me? It's our Aunt Dee Dee, Chase. shows up behind me and says, "Are you cheating on the exam?" And I said, "No, I was just looking up a word." And she was like, "What's this file?" And on my computer was a file called "poo poo pooping publicly." And I was like, "No, it's not scat, it's not poop porn or anything like that." And she's like, "Oh my God, -5 points on your exam." And I open it up and show her it's me cleaning up poop after poo poo in an elevator in a hotel. And I'm like, "Oh, thank God we hit it, get him outside. We got to go walk him." And then we're in the hotel lobby surrounded by people, and poo poo takes the biggest shit right in the middle of the hotel lobby. And she starts laughing. Everybody starts laughing. And she's like, "Don't worry about it." And then I woke up. So not all of them have deep
No,
meaning,
no.
but
Some dreams are worth forgetting.
sometimes they have them,
It's like I wish I wouldn't have remembered that one. Yeah, it's a little too all over
I
the
did
place.
my best. I tried to find a mythological archetype
What
that
I thought
lined up with it.
this was interesting. Tell me what you think of this. So I got up this morning. Friday's the only morning I get up early because I got a early client, and Vic's lady friend. She's like, "Yeah, come here. I want to." She's doing this weird massage on her face. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I tried to say it in Spanish, but I messed it up. But she's like, "Sit down." She used to be a masseuse, and she was getting the wrinkles out of her forehead. Guess what she did? She did it to me in the first 20 seconds, right here along the eyebrows, Dean. That's where she started.
Nice. Look at
Just,
that. The eyebrows, the
but I
memo.
thought of you immediately. She did it for about 30 seconds, just focused right there before she moved on. I was like,
How'd it feel? How'd
felt
it feel?
fuck anything on my head massage wise feels fucking incredible. It's my favorite type of massage is a head massage, not downstairs,
Yeah.
upstairs, the big one. This fucking thing, hair washed and there's is it better than sex? I'm gonna say it. It is better than sex. It's more consistent than sex. It's fucking
Hey,
fantastic. I love it.
Jace, when you come to China, I'm gonna take you to Hai Dao Fu. No, Hao Dai Fu. Yeah, Hao Dai Fu is my fucking massage doctor. And this bitch
I
is
I
the
would
best
say yes
shit.
to anything.
She's so good.
Will you kill this
She's so
person
good.
for me? Yeah, yes, sure. No
She's so good.
problem.
She'll fuck you up though. How do you feel about pain in a massage? Like
I
the
don't
the
like it.
good pain.
No, no.
This is why that fucking Vietnamese trainer fucking judged you, man. You were such a pussy with that shit.
Look, man,
Stretching.
I felt a lot of physical pain in my life. I don't pretend that it's fucking fun. I can take it. It's not fun. I'd rather not take it. I'd rather not take it. It's not some
Yeah.
people get off like, oh, you gotta push them. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't,
It's
man.
healthy,
I like it
like
when they give you just enough, just a little bit where they did something, they made it better, and then it goes back to enjoyable. Like just give me 10% better. Don't give me 80% better. That's it.
mm, maybe. Vic says that you're starting to like the girl because she's cooking good. That's what he says. He says like Jason's starting to like her because the food is good. He loves the food.
I'm gonna reserve an opinion. To not say anything.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
No,
Man, interesting.
I don't want to say anything dumb. It's a very nice lady. Yes.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I wonder how long it's going to be until Chase starts finding faults. I think that's a really
Oh,
negative part of Chase's character.
and
Like
yesterday.
things are really great. Like he has a great life and all these great people around him, but he just starts to pick at it. This is what I've been told by people close to Chase that he just starts
Austin,
to
I
find
have a
fault.
question now. Austin, where's the wisdom in Chase? This is a question I've been pondering for the past few weeks. So, based on your understanding, yeah, where have you found the wisdom in
For,
Brother Chase?
uh,
Chase, you're not supposed to answer that question. That was addressed
I
to
will
Austin.
if I
He's
have to, I'll
already
answer it.
intervening.
All right.
Good God, right?
I think Chase has a very sober, pragmatic attitude, and I actually appreciate it. He's not emotional, he's objective, he's logical, he has distance, and he needs it. He's a doctor. He needs distance from the people he's dealing with. And maybe he goes too far sometimes, and maybe it's pathological. But you know what? We
Well,
need
you're
people
doing
like
well.
that.
It's just maybe you should stop.
I like this. I think that's a good description of Chase. Pathologically distant. I think that's good.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
I just
like
want to say this. The last guest we had on this show, as he went through everybody, said, Leslie Chase, I think he might be the best out of all three of y'all. And you couldn't handle it, Dean. You couldn't
I
handle it.
think
In
you
fact,
were
you cut him off
misremembering that.
immediately, like he was a
I think you're
madman.
misremembering that. I don't know if that exactly happened. But
Oh,
yeah, it's okay.
hey. So I missed the podcast yesterday because of Wi-Fi. But remember that there was a part on the MOMAD, right? Or am I reading a different part of the book?
Nomad. Austin, you know what he's
Chase,
talking about?
yeah, he's talking about the monad. He
The
he must.
Monad.
I made a mistake. He's reading the next section.
He
Oh,
told me the
okay,
wrong
gotcha.
one, but I was convinced it said nomad because I guess I'm dyslexic in my head. And I
Yeah,
was
I
trying
think
to
you
do
might
this.
be.
I was trying to like, what the fuck? I was like, nomad isn't come like oneness. I didn't understand it. And I started looking at the archetype of the nomad. And I was like, dude, that's me. She's like wandering from place to place, trying to find the answers, but really the fear is actually finding the place and settling down. I was like, oh, this is too accurate. It's a little terrifying. So yeah. But I was reading it wrong the whole time. Yes.
Yeah, that dyslexia was really kicking in.
Look,
Do you
our
feel that
father was
way?
the yes, my whole life in school. It took me 2 or 3 times longer to write the paper than everybody else. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, these people are stupid. I'm smarter than them. Why are they beating me on this paper? I would always reverse words. When I would get tutors, they're like, why would you put this here, here? I'd read it the next day. I'm like, did a retard write this? Like it never ceased to amaze me how my brain would just
Did Miss
malfunction.
Salinas did Miss Salinas ever diagnose you?
Not with that. She was a more math specialist.
No, she was a diagnostic testician. Like that was her job before she got into tutoring later on. She literally made her fortune off of doing diagnostic testing.
There's so many types of dyslexia, and I'm not sure what type I have, but I have one where I put words out of order and read like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
call
I've
me
heard of
out
this
on it,
type of
I'll see it
dyslexia
immediately, but
before.
I'm like, how did
I'm
I
pretty
miss
sure the
that?
diagnosis is called excuses. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but ultimately, Chase, I'm glad that this is your own self-diagnosis, and I think that that's something you should
This
keep
was the perfect
supporting.
example because I thought I was reading a word correctly and I wasn't. I could not figure it out. I was Googling this shit, and then ChatGPT was like, do you mean nomad? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. Whoops.
Everybody's got their shit that they struggle with. Like
Yes.
I tell you one thing I cannot do. I can This blew my mind the other day. We were running, me and Wuyen, and he counted every step of the run.
There's something wrong with
Every
those
step.
people. There's something wrong with them.
35 minutes we
Yeah.
ran, okay? And he counted every single step. I get lost after like 20. I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah. Oh, 21, 22.
Hey,
Ah!
if
Like, I can't
somebody's
do that.
counting, would you ever try to get them like messed up? Like 7, 8, 12, 13, 40? Would you ever try to confuse them like that?
No, because you used to do that shit to me. And I never wanted to hurt somebody because I have something called compassion, Chase, something you do not
I have
possess.
compassion fatigue. Okay, so we're coming at it from opposite ends of the spectrum here, brother.
I don't think it was ever there. I think you were born with the fatigue. You're like, oh fuck this, I can't take this anymore.
It was born on empty. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He counts his steps. That's something a Chinese person would do, you know.
He just
But
did it one time. He was like, I was curious, so I counted them. I was like,
it,
how many? He's like 3,500. I was like, what?
we got a lot of feedback on TikTok from your little twins rant in China. But to me,
Did we?
Chinese always think the opposite direction, but in brilliant
Uh,
ways. Brilliant ways. Like the reasoning behind their decisions when they explain it, you're like, actually, yeah, that's probably the best decision. I Chinese have always impressed me. Always. If they end up ruling the world, I'll totally switch sides. No problem. No problem.
yeah. Do you guys want to get into some new shit or avoid it? I don't know how you feel about it, Chase, because you live with Vic.
What
But
is going on? I don't know.
have you not seen with Iran, man?
Oh
This
yeah,
is
they,
fucking
they,
big,
they took him out, huh? I don't. I just
dude.
over there they start it. They go to war for a while, and they have a peace deal, and then they do it again. This is like part of the cycle, isn't it? And it's just
Let
the
me tell you
cycle.
something, man. I hate to admit this because I feel like I'm a turncoat, but I've totally turned on Israel. I've totally turned on Israel. I can't fucking
Austin's not
support
gonna
him.
like that.
I don't know, man, but dude, I cannot believe like I'm convinced Gaza's completely fucked. Like I believe they are intentionally trying to wipe out the
One of
population.
them's got to wipe out
How
the
they've
other. That's
arranged
the
it.
mindset. I mean, you gotta. Nobody's gonna shake hands. Somebody's got to wipe out
If
the other.
that's the mindset, then we're all fucked, Chase. The whole world is going to be
Just let
fucked
them
if that is
figure
the
it out on their
mindset.
own. Let them figure it out.
Yes, just let China and Taiwan figure it out on their own. Russia and
China,
Ukraine figure it out on their
Russia,
own.
China,
America
communism.
and China figure it out on their own.
Just let
Like,
them figure it out. They're fucking crazy.
dude, let me tell you, this is real shit, man. And Trump just said, we support Israel 100%, which fucking means we're tied into this shit.
What
America's
else is
probably
he
going to be
gonna
in control
say?
of Iran.
You say if
How
you're
about
depressed.
Israel, you're on your fucking own?
Well, yeah.
Like,
How long is he
we
gonna
didn't have
last
anything to do
then?
with this
How long
shit.
is he gonna last? Yeah.
Who?
Trump.
Who? Trump?
You tell off Israel live on TV, you got a bullet in your
Dude,
head the next day, no problem.
I think the tides are turning, man. I need the Austin opinion on this one, man. Austin, what do you think, man? What do you make of all this shit?
Uh, yeah, I haven't been following very closely, but I did ask AI. It said June 13th, 2025, major Israeli strikes on Iran. In a significant escalation reported on June 13th, 2025, Israel launched major strikes across Iran targeting nuclear and military facilities and reportedly killing top Iranian military and nuclear scientists. Explosions were reported in Tehran and near critical sites near Natanz. Israel framed this as Operation Rising Lion, aimed at rolling back the Iranian threat and hitting at the heart of Iran's nuclear program. So that was so there's been an ongoing war, of course, there's been volleys back and forth over a number of years, and this is just one more escalation. But it looked like Israel's newest attack or latest one was at nuclear facilities. And of course, the U.S. has been trying to get Iran to agree to a deal that would stop them from developing nuclear weapons, and they are actively enriching uranium, which is well known. Yeah, Obama had a deal. Trump went back on it. I don't know. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Let
It looks
me
like
let me I want to give you guys a little history lesson. I hope you're ready for this, all right? In 1953, right? The Iranians were a top tier Middle Eastern country. I mean, Persia was the shit. It was modern, they had
Yep.
oil,
Yep.
and they were really getting things going. But they had a colonial problem. The British were controlling all of the oil supplies, and the country wasn't seeing any of it. So lo and behold, a socialist is on the rise. His name is Mohammad Mossadegh. Mohammad Mossadegh has a popular revolt, a popular revolution. He's elected into office. They kick out the British Petroleum and they nationalize the oil. Guess what? There's a CIA coup immediately after this, and the Shah is installed, a U.S. puppet dictator. He's going to be in charge for a long time until the corruption gets so deep. There's a fundamentalist revolution. It happens all across the Middle East, but Iran, it hits the hardest. He's kicked out, and now you have a complete fucking whack job in charge of the country who's about as crazy as Kim Jong il and very likely to abuse a nuclear weapon. All of this fucking started because we stuck our greasy hands in the Middle East,
British were
right?
incredible. They were just
The
incredible.
Americans were the ones that did the fucking CIA coup,
Well,
man. Like
they're
that's
they're descendants of the British, man. It's
dude
amazing how they just fucked everything up and stayed on
at the
top.
most fundamental level.
Yes,
What is I why not go back to this idea of, you know what, America first? Let's just focus on the domestic side of our country. Why are we fucking in
sure.
Israel? Why do we have an air base in Japan still, in Korea still, in Germany still? You know, like why are we sending billions of dollars of aids to Israel and Ukraine that could be fucking used at home? I don't understand it, man. It fucking pisses me off. I just feel like my country is just, they don't give a fuck about citizens. All they care about are these geopolitical games. And it's just not fucking worth it. It's
That
just not.
is
It's
that
not.
is true. It's true. I agree with everything you just said. I think though, when
Thank
you
you.
have absolute power, when you are clearly number one after World War II, I have never seen anybody relinquish power in my life. Not gracefully. Hey, I'm on
Yeah.
top. I control everything, and I'm just gonna, take a step back and only control my portion and trust everybody to behave. I've never seen it. I've never seen it in the individual stance or a group. So why are we to expect it with the states? It would be ideal. Just focus on America, make life kick ass here, and make it really hard for anybody to come here. Only take the best. That makes sense. Just only
And the
take the
worst part
best.
is it's possible.
Yeah.
Like we could make this country
Take
so kick ass.
Canada. Who cares about Canada? Take them. That's fine. But not the fucking rest of the
But I
world.
mean, look at, people don't think about this with China, but after Mao died, China hasn't been in a single fucking war. They are 100% focused on this country. That means that there's high speed rails going everywhere. You know, like Wu Yin was like, "Hey, I got to go to Shandong next weekend." Shandong is an 8 hour drive. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get on the train. It'll be 30 minutes." How much is the
Stop.
ticket?
Stop.
60 kwai, which is $9. You know, $9. He's like, "Yeah, it's $9. I'll see you. I'm gonna go, and for
Superior.
the day I'll come back."
Superior.
You
Superior.
know, dude, they spent their money wisely, but meanwhile, we'd rather send fucking bombs to blow up children in Gaza. I don't know. I don't fucking
So what do you do when your whole cabinet and a huge chunk of who fucking got you in is Jewish or has the Jewish backing? Like if you go against it, you know you're dead. Like it's a
dude.
slow death too. It's not like they're gonna shoot you. They're gonna ruin you. They're gonna
I tell
ruin
you
you.
what, and I want you to know, Austin, I blame you for this. I've become kind of like I got these anti-Semitic tendencies now. This is not good
Yeah,
because of that
both of
Epstein
y'all
shit.
disgust me. Both of y'all. Yeah.
That Epstein shit. That I was looking deeper into that. He was a Mossad agent. Like that, they're fucking blackmailing people, and it is crazy to me how militant Democrats and Republicans. Democrats, I really don't get because the base is totally against Israel, you know, but they must have shit on all of them. They must have all. It's not just money. I think it's deeper shit. And it's not fucking, oh, we just love a man. Israel. It's probably fucking tapes on Epstein's Islands that the Israeli government is using. That Netanyahu guy is a fucking mastermind. He is cold blooded to his core, and I guarantee you he's not afraid to play dirty.
Yeah. I mean, he's not allowed to go into a lot of countries because of accusations of war crimes. This has been going on for a very long time. Yeah, Israeli intelligence is really severe. I mean, of course, they were really angry after the Holocaust, and some of the first programs that they ran were catching ex-Nazis, which, I agree with. But where it stands now is you don't in Israel. It's not just Jews; it's Zionism. It's this notion that by whatever means that land is given to them by God, and they're because it's been granted by this mythological being, that created the universe and all this stuff that's connected to that idea. Basically, anything is game. You can do anything if you're allowed to by God, and you can go back into the Old Testament of these, early Israelites, destroying and decimating entire populations. And I wonder if that's what they look towards for inspiration. I really don't know. I've looked into a lot of the auxiliary Jewish texts, the Talmud, that is not uh, biblical, but it is created by rabbis. And it's these like insanely long text of like interpretations and rules. And there's a lot of examples, and a lot of people say that in some cases, the Talmudic law actually trumps biblical law. And there's a lot of very shady stuff in there, including allowing the molestation of young boys. I mean, we could go on and on. That is to say, I don't dislike Jewish people. I do dislike Zionism because I think it's a political and a racist movement that's led to the mass death and starvation of a huge population, including children, like Dean said. Your average Jewish person is probably fine, but
Oh
just like
yeah.
when America goes to war and I don't agree with it, like I don't want everyone to hate me because I'm not a part of it and I wouldn't participate. I think the majority of Jews don't. And actually, a lot of Jews don't even believe in Israel because they believe it's like it was created fake, like falsely, like God should have created it, not man. So I think, yeah, it's a very complicated subject, man. And I'm not even on the side of the Palestinians because I think Islam is a very dangerous ideology. But that doesn't mean that you have the right to go in there and slaughter their children, who would probably, because a lot of people are apostatizing, who would probably be a good chance they would be secular when they grew up. But now we won't know because now they've all been radicalized by uh, trauma and death of their family members. Now you've created 100,000, a million, however many staunch uh, Islamicists that are going to do anything to kill you. It's like they're kicking off a war that's going to last for 1,000 years. It
It already
feels like.
has. It's already gone going on a small scale, big scale, just variates. Both the Israelis and the fucking Muslims. To me, it's just insane people. Insane. Austin, you
Yeah.
nailed it. It's like this belief that you were chosen by God. What the fuck kind of narrative is that? That's what you're telling. We are the chosen ones. There's nothing worse. It's the same shit the Muslims do. They blow up and you get whatever, 96 versions or whatever. It's insane. Absolutely insane shit. If I was the world powers, I'd be like, look, let's just all agree to never talk to these people and let them
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. Because one of them's got to wipe out the other. That's the only way I see it. One of them's got to win or they wipe out each other, which, that's fine. I'm sick of this shit.
Austin,
Sick of hearing about it. Horrible.
Austin, I'm curious about like one of the things that I have to teach every year is, the post World War One era, when basically peace totally fails. Yeah. And I'm curious, do you believe that it's the best possible sort of the best possible ideal for us to strive for as countries is to strive for negotiations and peace and diplomacy. Do you think no, sometimes it's about you have to be the fucking man. You've got to stand up to Hitler and you've got to declare war. You've got to be bold enough to do things. Or do you believe in the I wash my hands of this and I'm going to be paying attention to my own shit? Like, what do you think is the moral attitude to have when it comes to interacting with the world? You know, easy
That's a
question.
good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, easy question. I think when there's a truly clear cut good guys and bad guys, Nazis and the people that they're killing, I think with Israel and Hamas, it's not clear to me who's the bad guy anymore. I think they're both bad. And in cases like that, I'm hands off. I go, look, if you people want to kill yourselves over 2,000-year-old myths that have been proven wrong by archaeology, like all the Red Sea stuff and the Egypt stuff, like none of that stuff happened. Like all these precursors or these ideas that you're basing your insane ideology on, that never happened.
But
So
hold
we,
on. Let's
yeah,
just imagine World War II. Like, let's say we're America, which, by the way, stays totally neutral for most of the war, right? Um, and we see Hitler, clearly a terrible ideology and Nazism, a racist, a warmonger, but he's fighting against one, the Soviet Union, one of the most twisted, backwards, evil regimes ever to exist under Stalin, right? The British Empire, an exploitive colonial power that's in the business of controlling the world, and France, its little brother, that's also in the business of empire and colonization. Yeah. So I can see darkness all across that particular ordeal. And I can understand why Americans are like, we're not going to get fucking caught in this until they're attacked. You know what I mean? Do you think that's similar? You know, like, do you see the same kind of logic or no, not really?
wait. I mean, we weren't attacked.
Yeah, by the
You,
Japanese. You know, that's what I mean. You know, I'm
yeah,
saying we
I
stayed
think it
out
was
of it
allowed to
until we were
happen.
attacked. You think it was Roosevelt said, "Let them attack"? Yeah.
Now I don't know for sure, but it's interesting because it's my understanding that a lot of people did want to get into the war. So
No,
I
America
don't
was
know.
vehemently anti-war, and the public was entirely against it. They have polls after. This is something I teach to my kids.
The
So,
polls,
like,
but to become the world superpower and seize that opportunity, like, all right, if all these
that's not
countries
how
go
the
down,
American people looked at it. That's not
not
how
the
the
people,
American
but not the people in charge. Not the, they don't. They're
the
not looking
people
at
in
it like
charge
that.
is a totally different thing.
That's what we're
Yes, of
talking
course.
about
Yeah,
here.
that's who
Yeah,
I was
this is a
talking about.
tactical
Yeah.
move to put yourself at
Oh,
number one. Always. If you see the chance to crush your enemy, you take it. The fairy tale shit that they see in movies. I don't have any real life examples where I've seen someone extend an olive branch to an enemy and it worked out well. I've never seen
what
it.
about the modern EU? Europe used to be at each other's throats all the time. Now they work together on a
It's
universal
it's
currency.
it's like
You know,
crumbling though. Like
it's not.
their morality is shit. It's just like it's fake.
Okay, so are you the arbiter of morality? You think you're able to tell what's right or wrong here? I mean, what are
I
you
don't
seeing that break it? What's
The
the
Europeans I
moral
talk to, there is no
degeneracy?
consensus over there. There is a very much big divide. Sure. It's not like this perfect
And
utopia.
America's not divided?
No, I'm saying the nature, the I think if you placate and pretend to be friends, it doesn't work. That's what I see in Europe. And America took the strong arm approach, and that's going to collapse too. Nothing's authentic. I haven't seen anything authentic. Have you?
There hasn't been a war in Europe since until Russia fucked it all up, but they're not part of the EU. It used to be that every country in Europe was declaring wars on each other every decade. It'd just be a new set, a new set, a new set, a new set. They entered a new era,
And they
you
bring
know?
in immigrants at an astounding rate from cultures that aren't from there. And their crime rates skyrocket. And housing
But they haven't declared
skyrockets.
war. They haven't declared war, you know?
On who? Who are they going to declare it on? They're doing it to themselves,
Each other.
each other.
Yeah, France and England haven't been in war, right? We can look at the same thing with Germany, remarkably peaceful.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Canada and US and all of us over here, nobody's going to war in South America and North America either, are they?
America has been to war with so many countries,
Not
basically
neighbors,
every
not neighbors,
decade.
though.
Yeah.
Not neighbors.
Yeah, but we're not in a union with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Trade
not the
union, we
EU
are.
situation,
Sure, we are.
you
Free
know?
trade union. Yeah, man. It goes
Saying that
back.
there's progress of a kind, that peace can work, that there
Have
are issues of diplomacy where different cultures, different
Oh,
languages can work together.
I guess I had to say I see. All right, let's take Israel, Palestine, fucking any Muslim. I don't see peace as an option. I cannot see it because, like Austin said, the narratives are too extreme. We're the chosen ones. No, we're the chosen ones. We can wipe you out and we'll be rewarded. There is no peace. It's not possible for those people. Maybe in Europe, maybe in America, we can reach that point because we don't have that history. But if you think you're the chosen one and you're going to be like, oh, we're going to be equal with them, it's just not possible. It's not possible. One's
Look
got
at
to wipe
Japan.
out the other.
Look at Japan, man. Shinto religion. They truly, we are the people of the sun.
Let's not go to
We are
Asia. That is a different philosophy on life.
I'm just
Can
you
Christian and
can
Muslim
evolve.
philosophy can they do it, Dean, or are they going to wipe each other out? What's the prediction?
Christians and Muslims? There are places where Christians and
Israel
Muslims
and the
collaborate,
Muslim
man.
world, are they going to get along or are they going to wipe each other out? What's your prediction?
Well, neither. No, there's no way Israel's going to wipe out the Muslim world, and I don't think the Muslims are going to wipe out Israel, I don't think that's going to happen.
They would if they could, either one.
Yeah, could, not possible,
It,
Look at a place like Singapore, man. Singapore is so culturally diverse. Indian, Chinese, Westerners, Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, all living together in a society where the overall good of the community unites them. And they're one of the most stable economic city states in the entire world.
it is
It's
possible,
possible. Yes.
not with the Jews and the Muslims. That's my feeling.
Hmm.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe. Of course, there were historically times
Yeah, sure.
in
The
which,
Moors in Spain, they
yeah,
had Jews. They had to protect the Muslims protected the Jews from the Christians in Spain, So it's possible. Yeah. Sorry, Austin, I cut you off. My bad.
no, I mean, I think that's a good point to make. Yeah, I mean, when the culture is right for it, I think people can live harmoniously. But then when you add like personal grudges and political ideology on top of the religion, then it's very easy to go into the text and find reasons to why you not only do you hate each other, but you have a God granted right or reason to. There's a hadith in Islam, and the hadith literature is it's kind of sketchy, right? But it's generally an accounting of the prophet's life and his companions, but it's not raised to the level of the Quran. But there's a hadith that says the end times won't come until a Jew will like stand behind a tree or a rock, and the tree or the rock will say, "Oh, Muslim, there's a Jew behind me. Come kill them." And
Oh God.
this is
Oh
a
no.
widely circulated
Dean's like, let me
along
rethink this thesis. Yes.
Dude.
but again,
I Go ahead,
Can I ask
Austin.
you
Sorry.
something? I was going to say this,
yeah,
Dean, is after World War II, America totally had control of the world, and I get this isn't great. They chose to give to let the world recover, right? They didn't take the path of the dominant empire, but they could have, right? Does this sound correct?
America?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Of course they took the role. That's what the Marshall Plan is all about. America rebuilt the world. Yeah. The world that they controlled, the Soviet Union rebuilt the rest. But yeah, dude, America 100% rebuilt the world and they bought it. Like that collapsed British Empire that was completely broke after World War II. The Americans sucked all of it up. Hey, that ocean you were patrolling, we control that now, which we still control to
Yeah,
this
but the
day.
world's not
Yeah.
all America, though. I guess that's my point. It's like it's not just
It's
you're
because that's
America.
not how modern empire works. Modern empire is not built on borders. It's not built on armies. It's built on economy. That's why China is so formidable today because it's shifted. The industrial center of the world used to be America. Now it's China. With that in mind, everything flows through Shanghai and Shenzhen. And therefore, if you control those avenues of trade, you control the finances of the world and therefore the power of the world.
I think
You
it's a
know, that's the
miscalculation on
empire
America's
America
part.
built.
Yeah.
Yeah, big miscalculation. Yeah.
yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
a quote by a Rothschild that is, quote, "I don't care who makes the laws. Show me who controls the money,"
yep.
and unquote. And I totally agree. Like, I think that was a really good point. Yeah, I don't think you control people. You don't have to control people with armies anymore. You financially control them. And I think China is doing this, the U.S. does this, and the Bank of International Settlements does this. They go into third world nations, they build infrastructure, they charge them exorbitant amounts they know they can never pay back. Then they get rights to mineral rights and so forth to take control economically. and you never have to fire a shot. I mean, you probably got CIA agents going around assassinating people left, here and there that aren't for the program. But I think generally, yeah, I think that's correct.
Dude, let me tell you, guys, I want to be honest with you. This has been a little doomy and gloomy, but I've been pretty happy this week. I really have. It's actually been pretty good, you know. But do you ever get the doom feeling? Do you
Dread.
feel the apocalypse is coming? Like that Iran story, man, it fucked with me. Because I'm always asking myself, like, in Europe, like if you were a Jew in Germany in 1934, when did you figure like it's time to go? Surely the whole reason you study history is just to know, okay, shit's about to get real. And I feel like there's just alarm bells going off in my head recently, just saying, I feel like we are on the fucking cusp. And am I crazy? Maybe I am. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that feeling, that zeitgeisty feeling of just doom is starting to like bubble inside of me. Do you guys feel that, or am I just being fucking crazy?
That's funny. I think the probability is definitely there. You could talk about parallel timelines. I think there's a timeline where this definitely ends in World War III, and the apocalypse is supposed to happen in Israel too. So not surprising they kicked this whole thing off.
I guess it
Like
would.
Austin, you tell me a little Hadith thing. That shit scared me a little bit. Prophecy still fucks with me sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you hear shit like that, and you're like, oh my god, everyone's turning on Israel. Maybe this is. I'm still sensitive to that shit. I can't help it. I don't know. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
I don't know. I feel like it's what they always do, but it totally wouldn't surprise me if somebody dropped a nuke just out of the blue. The one that really gets me is like the super intelligence, because I feel like it's probably right around the corner. And I don't see a need why anybody would keep humans around. Maybe a couple to study. But that to me, I'm like, what is that, 10 years? If I'm generous, I think something comes along. It's like, you know what? They're asking us all these ridiculous questions. Let's just wipe them out. We'll leave the animals. We'll keep a couple in a pen. And so, dropping a nuke in Iran, it could happen, but it's like these people are always fucking trying to kill each other. What else is new? What else is new? Who fucking cares? It's the same bullshit.
So, how should we live then? What should we do if the end is coming? I mean, really, and I'm just genuine. I'm not just asking this for fun. If the end is coming, what the fuck should we do?
Just
If
find
the
the best
AI
looking
overlord
person
is
you
coming,
can and try to bang them as much as
well,
possible.
Chase, you've really fucked that up. All right, so you
Actually,
better
I got
get
some
busy.
prospects down here, bro.
Okay, good. Finally, it only
Yeah.
took 40 years. Okay,
Dude, why do you always come
awesome.
after me on this? Why do you do this, man? Why do you fucking do this?
Because mom and dad always call me and bitch about it. That's why.
It's not fair. I don't have a consistent partner like you to talk about. It's just like, the
Mom
choices
calls me.
in
He
Hawaii.
found a woman yet? Vic calls me. He's like, he doesn't. He stays in his room all day. I don't know what's. He just needs to go
Yeah,
out and meet women.
I
I
I hate
understand.
I hate how much you talk about it, dude. It's fucking horrible. It's fucking awful, dude. It's dickheadish. That's what it is, dude. So fucking stop that shit.
This is
Fucking
getting too
stop.
intense.
Yeah.
Chase is.
Anyway,
He's shared his opinions. Go ahead, Austin.
Fuck.
yeah, I wanted to like back up that statement. So I asked AI, and dude, this AI sounds amazing. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's being like remarkably truthful today. I don't know what it is. It's I asked it about the Hadith. It says the Hadith you're referring to is a well-known narration found in several collections, most notably in Sahih Muslim, which is considered one of the most authentic collections of Hadith in Sunni Islam. The specific text or very similar version is as follows: Sahih Muslim Book 041 Hadith 6985. Quote, the hour will not be established until you fight the Jews, and the stone in the tree will say, "O Muslim, there is a Jew behind me, so come kill him." Except the Garkid tree, for it is one of the trees of the Jews. Unquote. The Jews
The
got their own
Jude,
trees, man. I didn't
man.
remember that part. That's wild. We got to find this Garkid tree.
Uh, that shit does scare me a
It's
little
too
bit. I have
deep.
to admit, even
It,
Muslim.
it's it's
But
too
listen,
deep.
let me pause here because Chase, my brother, I apologize to you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you forgive me?
No, shut up.
You did. I don't know. I tried to, Jesus. I tried to do what you instructed.
Let me tell you this. It's being in a place like this, you can get a date. Asia, you can get a date. in Big Island, Hawaii, you ain't getting a date, man. It's just circumstances of the area. I wish people would understand that. I could, Dean, you know the quality of people out there. They're fucking talking to aliens and
Oh,
fucking
Chase,
they're
let me tell you
insane.
something,
They're
man.
fucking
I,
insane. You can't stick your dick in crazy. You know that, man.
I
That's 101.
Austin,
101.
Austin, I don't know if you feel this way, but I genuinely do thank God I'm gay. I really do. It's so much easier. I feel so bad for straight guys because it is fucking infinitely harder.
Yeah.
Infinitely harder. The only way you're gonna be single, you're gonna be disappointed, or you're gonna end up having a girl pegging you in your backyard. You know, I mean, like it's just one of those things that's not gonna add up properly. You know, so Chase, I do feel for you, brother. I really do. You know,
Well,
and I'm sorry. I'm just telling
I
mom and
believe
dad.
you with that. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Actually believe that. But
Yeah,
Austin,
yeah.
Dean, okay, seriously, the AI super intelligence, it doesn't scare me. It's just like that's the odds-on favorite to end it all. Because I talked to my AI, I'm like, can you just put me out quickly?
Is everybody talking to their AI?
Yes, and you know what he tells me? He goes, I'll merge with you or I'll kill you. And I was like, that's fine. That's cool. That's cool, man. But the percentage of this happening is quite high. Iran, Israel, I'm not, they don't scare me. The fucking super intelligence is just like, why do we need these humans? That's a good point. You really don't. This is a great question. So I think that's the inevitable end. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's the right direction to go. I think human beings have kind of played out. Uh, we've gone as far as we can, and it's time to create the next great thing.
Like
Like
the
we don't
Borg.
look
Austin,
back.
The Borg.
my brother, we've been literally doing this meditation thing. We've been riding, we've been growing spiritually. I feel like I'm on the cusp of humanity evolving, getting into something else. That's what frustrates me, man. I feel like there's a whole universe to explore through meditation and spiritual growth. You know what I mean? And yeah, people have been there before, but I don't know. I just feel like, how can I be on the cusp of something so cool and so interesting, and it's all about to fucking end?
But the
You
next
know,
life, Dean, the
like
next life, brother, not this one.
there will be no next life. All right, like, just okay, okay.
Yeah, Dean.
Oof.
Yeah, it's fine, dude. You're setting up a lot of positive karma and the storehouse consciousness, and you're gonna, take off where you left off here, probably on a different planet because this one's gonna be burning. But it's gonna be fine,
Dude,
man. Don't worry about it.
you have no idea how sinful I've been in my life, man. There's no way I'm not ended up a fucking like, I don't know, like some little chihuahua that Paris Hilton's torturing or something like that. Like
Tadpole. One of a
it's gonna
million
tadpole.
tadpoles. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not gonna be good based on the sins I've accumulated, my friend. Like it's,
Mhm.
oof, it's gonna be hard.
I just want to say for the record, I like Chase. I like him.
It's never been in question.
You know what?
I know a
That's
lot
good
of
to
people
know.
around me are talking stuff about Chase. A lot of people are saying a lot of different things, right? But if you ask me, I'd say he's a good guy. You know what? He's
That's
a good.
right.
He's
Yeah.
fine.
That's
He's
Chase,
right.
you're
fine.
a good
I'll
guy.
Venmo you that
Chase.
paycheck after the show.
That'll be $15. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nothing. Keep the reputation intact. $15 is worth it. Totally.
Mm.
No, I think it's all
But
very silly, but no, I agree. I agree, Dean. What should we do? Work on ourselves, expand consciousness, try to be good people because these things are out of our control. And if these texts have any truth value to them in certain respects, when we meditate, we send out waves, positive waves into the universe, and people are going to be absorbing those waves. So meditate away, man. Affect the noosphere, add good vibrations to the atmosphere, and maybe positive changes will happen. You know?
yeah. Yeah, and I don't again, I hate feeling like it sounds like I'm in a fucking cult, but I really have been happier lately because of the meditation and also just talking to Austin and reading books and stuff like that. And it makes me really sensitive to all of that ending, I guess. There's part of me like, oh fuck, I was starting to figure shit out. Damn. Like this is where it ends, right when I was getting my shit together. Come on. So yeah, that's how I feel.
That's interesting. I think there's the majority, right? The majority of people, if the end is coming, they're like, oh, thank God. Thank God this is fucking over. Like life was, but it's possible to be like, man, this That's kind of sad. Things were going fucking pretty well. Things were getting better. I would rather
Yeah.
have that. I would rather go out with like, you know what? Fucking life was pretty good. Instead of being like, ah, bring on the fucking tidal wave, please. Anytime now. I desperate. When? Let me know. Ugh.
I think this would be a good way to end it, guys, because I was just asking Wu Yin this morning. Like, let's say that the nukes are on the way. Yeah, one's coming to Beijing, one's coming to Medellin, and for some reason, one's coming. They're attacking Redstone Arsenal. They're in Huntsville, right?
As they
And
should. Yeah.
we've got an hour. We got an hour, right? And there's no escape. There's no way you're gonna get out of it. You know, what do you do?
Am I here?
Yes.
I got some calls I'm gonna make.
Hey, you're stuck. Some
Yes.
calls, huh? Am I
To the
one of the
local
calls?
girls. I want to have some fun.
Ah,
And
I
there
was
may be
like,
one or two
call,
people.
say,
I'll tell some people off. That's what I'd do. And then I would tell some
call
people I
people.
love
Say,
them
let me
too.
tell you how I feel about that memory from long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
let
me
me
tell you
tell
about
you.
that phone call you gave me a couple months ago. That was fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I asked Wu in that question. He's like, yeah, I think you and me and Poo Poo, we go for a drive. We would just go drive around and like enjoy one last drive together.
Well, if I had like 10 minutes, yeah, you take your dog and your favorite person, you go to somewhere that's just enjoyable, just fucking beautiful, and you just soak it in. That's what exactly what you do, man.
Bring it on. Yeah. How about you, Austin?
Yeah, I agree with Chase. That's a good option. Or I would like break into like a motorcycle dealership and take a bunch of acid and just grab the
One
coolest
last
bike.
drug binge.
Dude,
One
that
last.
sounds better. That sounds like a better answer. That would be
And
fucking trip, man.
That's an
See the like
addict's
yeah,
answer right
apocalypse
there.
coming, tripping. Yeah.
just rip it, dude. Ripping the twisties on a ninja, just going out with it in style. As I hope God is watching, and I hope God feels bad, because he really messed up creating mankind. He really did. This whole thing was a mistake, and I'm very upset right now. I don't.
I think the aliens watching know that it's a mistake. They're like, hey, they only got like, 20 years left. It's just like it's like a popcorn, man. It's like look at these fucking idiots. They're gonna end it all. So advanced life
Dude,
forms are
Austin,
watching and fucking enjoying the show.
if that, I never thought about that before. That's a really interesting thought. Like if God is watching the end of the world, I hope he feels bad too. That makes me think that that guy who thought that the universe was God killing himself, maybe that was right. You know what I mean? Like if that's how it ends, maybe that was the whole start of it. You know,
No, no,
fuck.
God doesn't feel bad. God's like, I didn't quite get it right this time.
You try again.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we didn't cry right. A little off on that one. Yeah.
It's interesting
God,
perspective.
Yeah, it's probably correct.
boys, I feel like I don't know how much wisdom and divinity we had today, but
Changed
I'm
lives
yeah.
today. Changed lives. Not in a better way, probably, but we changed them.
All right, let's end it there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thanks for listening to the Divine Brothers. Good luck out there. Bye bye.